Good afternoon, everyone. I believe you can all hear me. My name is Samuel Eyitayo, the country American Spaces specialist. We're happy that you're able to join us today. I could see people from Ibadan, Abuja, Calabar, Uyo, Benin, Jigawa, Yola. Thank you, thank you. And more importantly, Manuela Akiola, I can see you. How are you? Thank you for joining us. I would like to reiterate the purpose of this workshop. I want to plead with every one of us to please have it in mind the theme, volunteerism for personal transformation and national development. You remember the first week we had Ebenezer Ogun, who was able to tell us why volunteerism is so important and how do we connect you to the nation, to your community. And today we're having Emanuela Akinola, who will be talking about know thyself, you are the resource. And to do justice to this, I would like to call on the moderator for today's event to please introduce our speaker for today. Over to you. That's Stella. Yola?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. We want to talk about Emanuela Akinola. I'll be reading her bio. Emanuela Akinola is a passionate advocate for disability rights and inclusion. She serves as the Chief Operations Officer at Access Tech Innovation and Research Center, driven by a 15-year commitment to empowering persons with disabilities, particularly through digital skills training and provision of assistive technology to visually impaired individuals. Her dedication is evident in her extensive volunteering and professional journey. She's a 3-time U.S. Exchange Program alumni, a yearly West African 2015, IVLP 2018, Mandela Washington Fellowship 2019. Emanuela holds a distinction awarded MBA from Nexford University, where she was also a business case competition winner. Through Access Tech, her social enterprise, she has demonstrated impactful leadership by distributing over 5,000 extensive technology products across Nigeria, Liberia, Ghana, and Sierra Leone. She's also an associate member of Women in Business and Public Management and the International Association of Accessibility Professionals, where she has volunteered in different communities, in different committees. Thank you very much as we welcome Emanuela Akinola.
Hi, thank you, Stella. Thank you so much for doing justice to this. I'm always very excited whenever I get an invitation from the American Spaces U.S. Consulate, the Public Affairs section, to devote my time to supporting and building other minds. Because for me, I know that the U.S. government as an institution has invested so much in me as Emanuela Akinola. even when I didn't believe so much in myself. They invested so much in me, building my leadership skills. And for me, this is one of my goals. One of my goals is in ensuring that I give back to institutions that have actually built something in me. And I'm so happy that we're also even talking about volunteerism today. And I believe that all of us here listening to, all of us here seated today at this event is because we've got a passion to give our time to something, to a cause that we believe so much in. That is why we are here today. And we want to understand how to do it better and to ensure that we manage ourselves in building, in devoting our time to volunteering and building a better nation. Thank you again, American Spaces. Thank you, Dr. Eyitayo, for this invitation, and to all members of the team at American Spaces. I appreciate your effort in building lives. Okay, I'll be sharing my slide right away. Okay, I believe it's shared now. Okay, so as Doctor has stated earlier, I'll be speaking on the power of self-knowledge in driving purpose-driven volunteerism and leadership. So today there are a few things I expect us to do. We are not just going to listen, because even though it's an online, it's a virtual event, I'm not a newscaster. So I expect that we are going to participate in this event. We are all going to contribute. And for me personally, I take very seriously when I'm speaking. I just don't want to speak for you to nod and say, wow, this is word. I want you to go through a process from the beginning to the end. Now, this process goes through reflective questions. Every slide I have here has reflective questions, reflection questions rather. And all these questions, I expect you, I believe that you have a pen and paper. If you don't have pen and paper, thank God it's virtual. You have a notepad on our computers. Please, let's take this as a process of discovering ourselves. We know that discovering ourselves is a journey, but we need to be able to note down these things. We need to be able to write down these things. And if you feel free, if you're comfortable with any of the reflection questions, I will be very glad to have one or two people share their responses, because as I said, I'm not a newscaster. We are all doing this together. It's a process that we are all going to go through together. At the end of this event today, I want to have people who are charged up and who have a sense of clarity on what they want to do with their time and how they want to devote their time to the development of the nation. Now moving on to the first slides, we are looking at importance of volunteerism. I'm happy that last week we had a prelude to this. We've looked at, our first speaker has looked at why we should volunteer, the advantages of volunteerism. He's somebody I know personally, and I know he works closely with Red Cross, and he has spent a lot of his time volunteering. So I believe that he has done so much justice to this. And know that we are all charged up as to, now I know that I have to volunteer. I know that I have to give my time to nation building. And a lot of time, giving my time to nation building does not necessarily have to be paid for in terms of financially, but because of the passion I have, because there's a reason I'm doing this. So now, the reason we are coming back again today is to find out, how do I ensure that I put in my resource as a person? How do I get to put in my real self into this? That I'm not just doing this to tick a box, but I'm doing this to make an impact. So we need to be able to understand understanding yourself, how it transforms how we serve others. Now, if we don't know yourself, if we don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, you will not be able to serve others effectively. So now our first reflection question is, what drives me to serve others? Please, I know that it's not a physical meeting, but please take your time and write this down. What drives you to serve others? What is driving you to serve others? We all have our reasons. We all have why we want to serve others. For someone who has volunteered with Nigerian Red Cross, you might have a reason. It might be that somebody died negligently for something that first aid could have actually solved. Maybe that was what was driving him to continue to serve others through the Nigerian Red Cross. For somebody else, it's something else. Now, for you who is listening to me today, what is driving you to serve others? Why did you come for this event today? You are here today because you have a passion to serve others. What is that thing that is driving you? Please, you can write that down. It's very, very important. Even if you don't get to the chance chance to share it because of time on this meeting, on this call. You can have time with yourself to reflect on this and share with somebody, people who are close to you, accountability partners. It's very, 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 very important. Now, let's go on to this now. What is self-knowledge? I know that several times we read a lot of books on psychology, and we understand that we need to know yourself. I think a particular philosopher said, "Man, know thyself." Now, it as short as that sentence is the most powerful sentence for me on earth. When I started having a level of self-discovery, for me, it helped me in being able to know why the first reflection question, which says, what drives me to serve somebody, to serve others? If I don't know myself, I won't be able to answer that question in itself. So self-awareness self-knowledge is awareness of your values, your strengths, your weaknesses, your beliefs, your passion, and your motivation. When you're starting businesses, they tell us to do SWOT analysis, your strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. But it's not only for your business. For you as an individual, we need to have this. We need to be able to know what are your strengths, because your strengths are not my strengths. Your weaknesses are neither my weaknesses. So it helps us to be able to know who can we work with, what kind of passion, what kind of environment can I actually work more effectively in as a person. So that is what self-knowledge does. It helps us to be self-aware of our values, of our strengths, of our weaknesses, of our beliefs. Because there are certain environments there are certain things, belief system, because of certain beliefs, system, certain environment, you cannot work in those environments because it's against your belief system. But if you are not intentional about your belief system, if you're not conscious of your belief system, you find yourself doing everything that's against your values or against your belief. Now, self-knowledge is not just about introspection. I know a lot of times, especially for us introverts, we have a lot of introspection is takes about 60% of our lives, because especially people who are melancholic, we want to rethink everything that we are doing. But apart from just introspecting, it is a compass of the meaningful action. It's a continuous journey. It's not a one-off event. So the call we are on today, it's a catalyst to this continuous journey. It's not a one-off call. It is not just one of the one-off meetings that we are going to have in life. No, this meeting is a catalyst. So also to start this continuous journey, continue on this journey, because self-discovery, self-knowledge is a continuous process. What you know about yourself today, when in a particular situation, you find out that you know more about yourself in every situation. So that's why the older you get, the more mastery you get of yourself. So because it's a journey. So now one of the reflection questions we have here that I want us to note down. Can you hear me again, please? Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. I just received a notification that my internet was unstable, so I want to be sure. Okay, thank you. So one of the reflection questions I have here is, what do I know about myself that influences how I help others? Now, I'm not going to share this without giving you my personal experience as a person. For me, I work in the disability sector. And one of the things that actually influenced the good thing, the reason I'm actually very excited about this program is that personally, as Emanuela, my career journey has been greatly influenced by volunteerism. I would say if I've worked for 15 years in this industry, I've volunteered for over 8 years. I've done, and I still volunteer. I've just stopped volunteering. So my career journey has actually been grown through volunteering. When I was in the media, I was practicing journalism before I came into disability advocacy and assistive technology. And I got bored with journalism and all that. I wanted to go into disability advocacy. And that's also because of the experience I have. I have a direct experience being married to a person with disability. And each time I go out with my husband, I see things that are actually affecting me. I see how disability itself affects me. So I became interested in disability advocacy. I wanted to understand. So I decided to start volunteering with organizations that work and support persons with disability, so that I can understand the technical issues and also be able to provide my time in this regard. So for me, that particular experience built me. So when you see a lot of my volunteering journey, they are actually around disability. Because number one, that's what I understand. That is what affects me. That is what I know. Now, it's not just about disability and myself or my family. It's also about disability and the nation. So you see more in disability advocacy, policy, national or international policy advocacies on disability, because those are the things that are driving me every day. So a lot of time, volunteering is not just about, it's not ticking a box. It's not, the goal of volunteering is not to take the pictures. A lot of time, the deepest part of volunteering are not just in the, they are not in your Instagram post that you want to share with other people so that you can look like a very good person. The deepest part is actually the fulfillment that you put in the eyes of people. In the eye, what are the things that you've done that have actually changed the life of somebody? Those are the deepest reasons why we actually volunteer. And you cannot achieve this if you don't have self-awareness, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know why you are doing what you're doing, if you don't know what is pushing you to do these things. That is why today we need to come into introspection. We need to start this journey of self-discovery, of understanding what we need to do, so that you now understand that even though you have the mindset to volunteer, it is not every sector that you can volunteer in. Now, one of the today, as I said, I'm not a newscaster, so I want to get some responses. In this regard, now looking at self-discovery, I want you to share with me, either in the comment section or one or two people can share with me one adjective that you say that you use to describe yourself. For me, I call myself the empathetic Ella. That is the adjective I describe myself with. So anything I do, empathy is very, very important for me. So what is that one adjective that you use to describe yourself? Anybody can volunteer to speak, because I want to know more people on this call. It doesn't have to start with the first word of the first letter of your name. It can be anything, but just need one adjective to describe yourself. Okay. Is anybody in the audience speaking?
Yeah.
My name is Livina. Good afternoon. I can say I'm a compassionate Livina. That was an adjective I used to describe myself. So that's why I do what I do.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, compassionate
Livina.
Livina.
Livina. So I call myself compassionate Livina.
Okay, compassionate Livina. Thank you. Glad to meet you, compassionate Livina. Now, thank you so much. Okay, can I meet someone else?
My name is Onyekachi Kingsley. I call myself an advocate.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Okay.
Okay, the voice is breaking.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay, I'm Corey Precious Adenaya. I actually regard myself as a secret achiever due to the fact that no matter where I am, I can make things work out without even making it openly. I can decide to take a decision. I can decide to give out an input without even knowing whereabouts or how you came from. I'm analytic and logical sometimes. That's why I regard myself as a secret achiever. Thank you.
Wow. So thank you so much. Now we have the compassionate Livina and we have the secret achiever. I have two scenarios here now. Now, this is my idea of volunteerism. A lot of time when we think of volunteerism, we're only thinking of the non-profit, we're only thinking of charities. When I went to my Mandela Washington Fellowship, we went to the food bank. I was excited. And one of the reasons that made me so excited is that yes, I've been hungry before in my life. I knew what it was like to be hungry and to pack for people and to pack food for people who are hungry. Now, for the secret achiever also, I can imagine that for me, I'm running a digital training institute for blind persons. For someone like you, if I'm working with someone like her, she's at the back end giving me a lot of admin support. She's doing at the back end doing a lot of doing digital marketing for me. And you're seeing the result outside there, but you don't know that she is the secret achiever that is actually behind me. So what am I trying to say? It is not only non-profit charities that actually need volunteers. A lot of times businesses need volunteers. So if you're looking at volunteering for national development, a lot of times we are not, please, let's not just look at only charities. There are some small businesses that actually are struggling. There are some serious entrepreneurs that are struggling, you have this skill and you have other means of income, and you have the spare time to actually support these small businesses, you can also volunteer with them to provide this kind of support. And for someone that is a secret achiever, you do exceptionally well with a lot of small businesses if you have a skill that you believe that a small business around you would actually need, and you can support it. So volunteering is not, as we said, now with these two people who have actually spoken, we've seen that there are different kinds of people who want to volunteer. There are different kinds of reasons, there are different kinds of things that drives us that in volunteering. And these are the things that actually decide which area we are actually going. So now let's not forget our reflection questions. What do I know about myself that influences how I help others? Our secret achiever has said something that one of the things she knows about herself is that she likes to work from the back end. And our compassionate Levina said I'm sure if I ask you, compassionate Levina, most likely you like to work with people who are vulnerable. You like to provide support for people who are vulnerable and all that. I don't know, but I don't know what to do, but I believe that it's something close to, it might be something close to that. Because for you to have compassion, it means that you seem to have a lot of mercy. It's not like everybody. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Yes. I volunteer for children from underprivileged communities with edutech skills, and we mentor them on mental health. We take care of their mental health through counseling.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow. I can imagine that takes a lot of patience to actually achieve what you're doing. And it takes for someone who has passion, who has compassion, who has mercy. Because you know that a lot of times, some of them might be slow learners. You need to take your time to build them. So, and you are doing this with your time, and you are not expecting anybody to tell you thank you. So it takes a lot of compassion. So thank you so much, Levina. Thank you, our secret achiever, and so many people who actually wanted to speak, but because of time, we have so much time to speak. But please note this down, write this down, because this is a word that actually drives what you're actually doing. What do I know about myself that influences how I help others? Now the link between self-knowledge and purpose. Purpose flows from understanding who you are. Now, if you want to ask a very philosophical question, we ask everybody, what's your purpose in life? I know it's a very philosophical question, because a lot of times, even what you think is your purpose in life today, tomorrow might not be exactly what your purpose in life is. When I was starting out as a young girl, I believe that my purpose in life was to impart into others. I wanted to be a journalist, then move on to becoming a teacher. But today, I practiced journalism for 2 years. I practiced teaching. I was in the education sector for like 3 years before I went into assistive technology. I never imagined at that time of my life that today I'll be serving persons with disabilities in tech. So it wasn't in my plan. But now looking at it again, so when looking at what's your purpose in life, it actually evolves. You keep it's a discovery. And each season in your life, you keep discovering more things about yourself based on the opportunities that you have around you. So purpose flows from understanding of who you are. But if you don't know who you are, you will not understand what your purpose is. You're going to dabble into everything. It's not everything that is for you. It's not every area that you are competent in that is actually for you. We are going to also talk about that. So in volunteering, all this goes around knowing yourself. I know people, when you're under 35, you have a lot of energy. You have a lot of opportunities for volunteering. You have a lot of opportunities for fellowship. You have a lot of opportunities for applying for grants. It's not every fellowship, it's not every volunteering opportunity that is for you. You have to look at those who are the opportunities that are aligned to your purpose, because those are the only places where you can actually work, where you can actually flow without any grudges, where you can flow without struggle. Can you imagine a river flowing and having obstacles? You are not going, the tide is not going to be smooth. So now, when the river is flowing, there are no obstacles because it's in its nature. So when you're volunteering in a place where you find purpose, you are even happy. When there are hurdles, you are there. So when you're volunteering only for the pictures, to look good, to build your own personal goodwill brand as a person, in quotes, you yourself know, look into yourself, face the mirror and look into your eyes. You know you are struggling. You know that this is not yourself. This is not where you really wanted to be. So it's good for you to be able to understand what your purpose is, because it helps in understanding who you are. Now, when you know yourself, your service becomes authentic and sustainable. Nobody has to push you to do those things. For me, when people come to my organization and say they want to sign up for they want to volunteer with us, the first question I ask is why? Because it's very, very important. As people as plain as possible, they tell you that they want to go and study in the US and they want to volunteer so that they can put it there in their record so that they might give the opportunity to get scholarship. Well, that is noted. But is there any other reason apart from this? Do you have anything? Why did you come to us if that's the case? Is there any reason why you came to us? Because we work with blind people. And there are some people that you find that here there's a purpose that draws them to you. There's a purpose that draws them to the cause that you are working on. But some people that are not purpose. And really, as Emmanuel, I won't work with that person that doesn't have any purpose. Because I've learned over the years that when I work with those people that don't really have a purpose, that just wants to do it to check a list for the book's sake, a lot of times we struggle to get results with them. Because they know that is not their natural thing. They're only doing it to tick a box. They just want to attend the event. So they are looking for the spotlight. How do you know that where you are volunteering is not where you are supposed to be? Number one, you're always looking for spotlights. If you're always looking for that spotlight is when they want to take pictures, you want them to put it on their Instagram, you want to put it on your Instagram, you're just interested in it. You're not even caring about the vulnerable children you're working with and their own data protection. You just want to put it out there. You are looking for the likes. Then you're not in your purpose. Because my sister, ladies and gentlemen, if you are in your purpose, if you are doing what you're doing in your authentic self, a lot of times, these things that we're talking about, especially if you are working for a social good cause, these causes take your time more that you need somebody else to even remind you of that spotlight. It's not like you're not going to get into spotlight, because the truth is that once you've done the right thing, you're going to make an impact. And when you make an impact cannot be kept quiet. People are going to know about it. But the question is it the knowing about it? Is it the publicity that is your outcome, or the impact? For the impact to be your outcome, it means that cause is very, very dear to your heart. And you cannot know a cause that is dear to your heart if you don't understand what you want to achieve in this life. If you don't understand, I know people who work in climate change, they're doing very well in climate change. And they're working with so much passion. You can see the passion that against all odds, they are in this cause. But some of us don't understand it. I don't know, you understand the technical issues around climate change and all that, but there are other causes that draws your attention. Do you understand? There are other causes that draws your attention, and that cause, you can focus on that. You don't have to do climate change because it is more popular. It's not compulsory, because how long do you have to live on this earth at the end of the day? Even if you're living 100 years, it's not enough to finish all the courses. It's not enough to do everything. So God has created you for a purpose. He has molded you, and he has put certain personality in you. He has put certain, not just the personality that he has put in you, he also made you pass through certain experiences so that you can come out of those experiences and touch other people's lives. So some of us who have gone through hunger when we were young, that is why if you go to a food bank, I can stay in a food bank from morning to evening. I'm not feeling tired because I know what it means for somebody who doesn't have a food to eat. Now, for somebody who have never been hungry, who have never had a cause to think of a meal for a day, you might not understand that. But I've passed through that experience for my own cause. I'm passing through my own experience. So you have your experiences that you have passed. These are things that has molded you, and that can also determine the course in which you are actually going to put your time into. Number 3, self-knowledge prevents burnout and directionless activities. As young people, a lot of us now are mid-age, a lot of time, because we have energy, we want to do everything, especially things that are trending, things that look like big organizations are supporting and all that. So if you're not careful, today you say you are a climate change advocate, tomorrow you're a disability advocate, next tomorrow you are into EdTech, next before you know it is now you're now a startup founder. By the time you are 50, by the time you are 60, you have done everything and you have achieved nothing. That's burnout. So self-knowledge helps you to program, to focus. You have a laser focus on what you are putting your time into. You have a sense of direction. Because you know yourself, you can also withdraw from certain activities that are not for you. I wish people well. The fact that you are not in that activity does not mean that activity is not valid. It only means that you don't have the capacity, either the emotional capacity or the mental capacity to provide that support. And you can as well use your time to provide the support in the areas where you are interested in, or the areas that touches your heart the most. Now, our reflection question here is, what causes or issues naturally resonate with who you are? For me, anywhere if you want me to talk from morning till night, I can talk about disability, I can talk about assistive technology from morning till night. Even what I'm talking about today, I can talk about it from morning till night. Why? Because these are the things that have built my life. There are things that naturally, anything that you have to struggle to think about, most likely are not causes that you should volunteer for. Because you might start becoming, what's this word? People, there's this word we call it, people who are always, you start demanding certain kind of recognition. You start asking, like someone you're working for organization and you're telling them that you know what I've done upon all what I've done for you. It means that cause never resonated with you. You're actually waiting for them to either give you a reward for it, or to take it you wanted to become you wanted to make yourself important because you think that cause is important. So what causes actually resonates with you naturally? Those are the causes that is actually calling your name. That's the cause that's calling your name. And as I said earlier, it might not even be just a charity cause. It might be a cause to build businesses. And you don't like seeing a business owner not having, maybe their stock is very bad, that their stock keeping is bad. And you can see that this person is a serious person, but this person is short-staffed and cannot afford to pay. You can volunteer your time to do stock keeping for this person if you have the experience in it, and it's not going to take out. You are not going to, you have other things that you're doing based from your paid job. These are part of the things we use to contribute to national development, because when you support this business owner with 1 or 2 hours of your time in stock keeping, and the person's inventory is cleaned up, you know that the person can now make better sales, the person can do better record keeping, and now you have contributed to the growth of a business. Tomorrow, when that business grows and is able to employ better hands, definitely you can see your impact in that business because you have helped them to put a structure. It's not everything that we get, not just financial reward for. But one thing I can tell you for sure, when you volunteer on causes that naturally resonate with you, you definitely get rewards for them. Because a lot of times also, I believe that the last speaker last week that people told one of the reasons to actually volunteer, it also helps to build your career. I see a lot of people who are trying to build, let me say, for example, somebody is trying to build your career, you're trying to build your career in data analysis or data entry and analysis. This example I made now is a very good way to support, to enter into that career, because when you've done it for a business and that business is successful in inventory keeping and all that, you can tell another business, you do it for another business, that business is successful. You're already building expertise in it. Tomorrow, if you come to me and tell me that I've done this for A, I've done this for B, and this is the result I achieved with A and B, I can actually pay you for this because you have proven to me that you have record for what you've done. So volunteering is not like volunteering doesn't pay at all. When I volunteer, that time is lost. This time is not lost. Number one, there's an invisible seed you've sown that you are going to reap. Number two, you're also sowing a seed of goodness. Number three, you're also sowing a seed of, you are building your expertise as a person. Okay, so I hope you've noted this down. What causes or issues naturally resonate with who you are as a person? Now, self-knowledge and leadership. Great leaders lead from within. One of my major mantras is that ability to lead yourself is self-discipline. Self-discipline is not difficult to define. It's your ability to lead yourself. Tell myself that, Emanuela, sit on this seat for the next 2 hours, study, and don't stand up. Once I can do that, I've led myself for the day. I've controlled myself. It's not a case of the spirit is willing and the flesh is weak. It's a case of the spirit can command the flesh to sit down and the flesh will sit down. So if you cannot lead yourself, if you cannot be disciplined with yourself, you cannot give your time to people. Because number one, you won't be able to manage people if you cannot manage your time. So if you cannot manage your time and you say you're volunteering for somebody, you cannot for an organization, or you're volunteering for a good cause. You cannot also manage people. You cannot manage a project. So great leaders lead from within. You must learn to lead yourself from within. If you're somebody who procrastinates, build system around yourself to help you to stop procrastinating. So build your own. Before you start building businesses, you just have to first build yourself, because the person who is well built is person that can actually build organizations or build a cause. Empathy, integrity, and confidence stems from understanding self. So if you don't, a lot of times when we look at people who have worked in courses and all that, empathy, integrity, and confidence is one of the major attributes you find in them. And if you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you can do and what you cannot do. So knowing who you are is about knowing what you can do and what you cannot do and why you are doing what you are doing. You cannot actually be empathetic. You cannot, because it's not everything that you have that you show passion for that you can actually do something about. So you need to be able to know what you can do and what you cannot do. So it also, self-knowledge also enables resilience and clarity during challenges. So when you know why you are doing what you're doing, a lot of times things are not going to be easy. But that's what makes you resilient. It is your why. It's your reason for coming on board. You've already signed up to an organization that you're volunteering for them. And let's imagine maybe at an event and suddenly the rain starts falling. You know why you signed up for that thing. Is that reason why you signed up for that thing that makes you go back home to take an umbrella and go into that storm and go to that organization? Is that the reason? But if you don't have the reason you signed up for it, you just signed up for it because, oh, it's trending, a lot of people are there, you get to know more people, you get to meet more people and all that. And for a lot of I don't want to call them flimsy reasons, but they're all good reasons, they're all valid reasons. But maybe they're not strong enough to actually push somebody beyond certain challenges. If those are the reasons you just want to volunteer for organizations, you might easily fail because there will be no resilience. But when you know yourself, you know that the reason why you're doing what you're doing is actually to have self-knowledge. It's actually to build yourself, to build your understanding. And it's coming from self-knowledge, from the knowledge that you have about yourself, from knowing why you are doing what you're doing, the weakness, the experiences you've had. That is why you are doing what you are doing. You are going to build a sense of resilience. It's not, for example, when I started working in disability in disability advocacy and assistive technology, I never knew certain things. I know that persons with disability, I know about persons with disabilities, especially persons who are visually impaired and all that. But my understanding, my knowledge, my experience as a spouse of a person with disability gave me another angle to why I should do what I'm doing. I always tell people that even if I become World Bank president tomorrow, I am still a blind man's wife. So why? I have a responsibility to change the perspective of how people see blind people. So that's what is driving me in everything I do. If I'm speaking today, it is what is driving me. If I'm working today, even when I went to do my MBA, it was what drove me because we are building our business to become standard. So at the end of the day, so when you see me anywhere, you really find me in an occasion, apart from what I'm doing now, you really find me in an occasion and I'm just there because that have nothing to do with disability, for no reason and for nothing. Because my major focus is on disability advocacy. And not just disability advocacy. This is the reason why I'm doing disability advocacy. It is not just a career for me. So the resilience is there. You'll find we've been there for 15 years and we're going to be there for a long time. It's a game for a long time. And these things, the experiences, the reason why you're doing this builds your resilience. There have been challenges. There are times when you're broke. There are times when you looks like everything has finished, but you keep moving. And because you keep moving, provision comes in. So now, one reflection question: how does knowing my strengths and weakness make me a better leader? Now, I believe that the first time we have looked at our strengths and weaknesses, when we do SWOT analysis for businesses, it's always very good to do SWOT analysis for yourself. I know people who are melancholic, it's one of the things that we do naturally. SWOT